Somewhere in here is my missing piece. Alrighty, some good news. My filter that's supposed to go with the HP Carb came today, and although the modified NT airbox worked in a pinch, that should go straight on. Now, a lot of builds struggle fitting the HP Carb and that filter on because of clearance, but as you see, clearance is not an issue I have on this frame because it's massive, really. So I was less than impressed with the performance of that carb, and I started diving down the tuning rabbit hole, and what everyone seems to be saying is these are jetted way too rich. Now, granted that I don't even have the jets I ordered for the NT carb, I dug a little further and it turns out that the jets from the NT fit perfectly into the HP Carb because they're all just 5mm jets. And that got me thinking, you know, if this is jetted too rich and the NT Carb has never had any problems running for me, why don't I just steal a jet out of one of my NT speed carbs and stick it in the HP and see how we go. I'm not ready to give up on this carb yet because, you know, people seem to love them or hate them. Look, straight out of the box, I hated it. The bike ran like absolute crap. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just swap the jets around, and we'll take it for another ride and see if that helps. Beg the question is, could you fit one of these over an NT? No way. Not without some serious modification. You could probably carve out the inside of an NT airbox. Now, this is the carburetor that was originally on the Mark IV two-stroke, and on a 36-tooth sprocket I hit 65 k's an hour. Now, I've not even hit 60 on the Mark V with its 32 tooth, so it just does make me wonder. Alright, float bowl comes out. Our stock jet for the NT. And we're just going to let the fuel drain out of the bowl. Now, there was only a tiny splash of fuel left in the bowl. So, what we're going to do break the seal on that. Alrighty, so that's got the jet from the NT carb, which, yeah, it's screwed straight in. It's a little bit tighter than what I'd like, but it did go in. Now, quick disclaimer, none of these are marked or labelled in any way, so I've got no idea what the jet was or what I'm replacing it with, only that the jet from this NT carb that I've just put in, it's always just worked perfectly for me. So I'm hoping that that'll translate into this bigger carb, and that, you know, the carb will provide better airflow and we'll get better performance that way. Alright, we're going to throw away that. Now, as far as NT tuning is concerned, chopping off these vanes is a quick and easy way to get extra fuel, extra air into your carb, because the vanes on these things are super restrictive. Now it looks the part. I do want to say that the performance issues I was having were not going to be because I didn't have this magic filter. I ran the thing without a filter for maximum airflow and still have the exact same tuning issues. So that modified NT airbox wasn't restricting airflow or anything like that. Because if it was, I'd notice a difference as soon as I removed it. Nowhere will tell me if this is tuning or if it's just there to hold it on, which frustrates the shit out of me, because on some of these carbs that'll adjust the fuel flow. I'm not willing to play with it yet. I'm just going to stick to the basics. We'll go ahead and try and get this thing to run in the backyard again, and like always, we'll just see how we go. So we're going for first fire, cold start with the choke on. The boost bottle. The boost bottle's doing its thing. It bites straight up. So I think that jetting, simply taking the NT Carb jet out and replacing it, I have a sneaking suspicion this thing's going to be brilliant. There's only the tiniest puff of smoke coming out of the exhaust, which is really good. You can see the fuel going up the line in the boost bottle. We're going to take this bad boy out on the road and see how we go. No hybrid for me. This will be a good test though. So that was really, really easy to change the jets, taking one straight out of the NT and putting it in the high performance carb. I was able to let the choke off almost instantaneously. So choke's wide open, bit of smoke at full throttle, but it's a two-stroke, it's normal. Alrighty, so I would call the NT jet in the HP Carb a win. I wasn't able to wind it out to top speed, just I don't have that kind of space. I'm a little bit out of breath because of the hills around here, and with the hybrid being out, there's just no way a 32 tooth sprocket is going to make those climbs. So I do need to address what's going on. I'd say I've broken a wire or something. Yeah, I had no bogging whatsoever at any throttle position. The bike felt great, it felt fairly torquey. I'll need to reserve my opinion on what's happening at the top end until I can take it out further than, you know, around the estate. But for now, I'll call it a win.